Ashley, the Orange Lady, and I am a first-gen professional with a lot of experience, not just in the nonprofit or public sectors, but also in tech. And I've made all these mistakes so that you don't have to. Okay, let's get into it. Today, I want to share a personal story from just this week. So this is a little raw, everyone, okay? I have my coffee, so it should be okay. My boss got some feedback about me this week. Now, just let me give some context. My boss and I have a fantastic relationship. This was well received, and it was even delivered in a take it how you want. So my boss was given some feedback about me by one of my peers this week. They said they really wanted me to speak up more. Now, you might find this weird, fascinating, hilarious, because, well, all you do is listen to me speak up, right? I guess I save all my good stuff for the squeeze. Just kidding. It did make me realize the culture that I am in. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of critiquing of the culture that I work in and kind of give you my mentality that I had that I know is not going to serve me well. So the mentality that I have in meetings currently is that if I have a strong opinion or I have something valuable to add or a question that I think is going to help us look at the topic from a better perspective, I will add it. I have no problem doing that. But often in a conversation, in a meeting, people are going through the process and discussing things, and I'm in agreement. I don't have anything valuable to add to it. So I don't want to waste my time and energy, and I don't want to waste their valuable time, right? Most of these meetings are jam-packed. So let me just pause and tell you, though, the culture. This is what the culture is, and this is not unique to myemployer.com, but it is actually more common than not, is that people need to be heard to know that they actually exist. Yeah, I know you could think but I do my job, I get it done, my boss knows I do my job. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter not just today, it doesn't matter when you're going for promotion. Even though in most corporate settings, you put a promo packet together, right? This report looks different at each company, but it is often a write-up of the work that you have done, the results that you've had, and often you will ask others to support it. So they will write something about your promotion candidacy. So now you might think, well, that's awesome because the people that you work with are going to be able to tell that story the best, and then you'll be judged on that. I wish. That's what is said. The words that are said, right, is that your work will stand on its own. People will base it on that. In reality, what happens in the room where these decisions are made, as Carla Harris says, you are never in the room when the most important decisions about your career are made. And that document can still be ripped apart by people that say, well, I'm actually not that familiar with Ashley's work. I actually, she doesn't have a lot of visibility. That word, if I hear it one more time. So there's a couple things going on. If I don't speak up, I guess people think that I don't have any opinions and I don't really do anything. And so the culture that I work in is one that is say something, even if you're not adding anything to the actual depth of the conversation. Literally, I'm in meetings where I see people do this. They repeat something, rephrase it, reframe it. It's corporate plagiarism. Let me just take that thing and add a little change to it and be on record saying it. And it's really obnoxious, I think. I don't think it serves anyone, and I think it's a waste of time. But I do understand that if I do ever want to go for promo, I need to have more visibility and I need to speak up. So all of that to say, I know I'm probably not alone in having this issue that I need to work on. So let's talk about some of the things I'm gonna do and maybe you need to do with me. We can do it together. One of the things I'm going to do, and it pains me to do this, is I am going to push myself to go on camera more. We do not have a specific on-camera policy. I work from home right here. I do travel for work, you know, a bit, but I work from home and I don't always want to put a face on, I wear a hoodie and I'm good. I'm going to go on camera more because I know that if I'm on camera more, I am more likely to come unmute myself and say something. Now, I am going to work on contributing more. I haven't set a specific number of things that I'm going to say every week, but what I am going to do is make sure and take note of when I don't speak up and when I do speak up, and just kind of see if there are patterns there or specific meetings that I don't. And then I can troubleshoot that with my boss and say, hey, I'm clearly more comfortable in this environment to speak up, but not this one. Can we work on this? Okay, the first thing is going on camera more, because even just being on camera and people seeing your face is more visibility. They remember that you exist. Great. Being mindful of when you do and don't speak up, and then being able to actually kind of work on that. But the first part is figuring out where you are most and least comfortable speaking. Now, the next part is actually setting up coffee chats, informal, but with a purpose, coffee chats with colleagues. And what we're gonna do in these coffee chats is talk about our work. Because the more you talk about it, the more visibility you have. That's the person that could be in the room that will either be your advocate or your adversary when it comes to making these decisions. And I would much rather have someone say, oh yeah, I know about that project that Ashley knocked out of the park. Great. Instead of them saying, well, I'm reading about this, but I don't know anything about it. Even though that's technically not what is supposed to happen. They're supposed to read about it and determine if that is, let me stop right there. Okay, so we have 3 things so far, right? We have that we're gonna go on camera more, and I'm saying we because I need to not be alone in this, thanks. Okay, we're gonna go on camera more. We're going to just notice when we do and don't speak up, so that then we can start to process and figure out some strategies to speak up more in spaces that we're not as comfortable in. Then we're going to set up some informal coffee chats with the purpose of, yes, getting to know people on a personal level, but also sharing the work that you are doing. Maybe you're asking for their feedback. Maybe you're approaching it from a, hey, this is what I'm working on. What's your perspective? Do you think that there's something I'm missing here, right? Like, make them feel involved. If you can see my face, you know that I'm making yeah, isn't this fun? I'm like kind of mad that I am making this podcast about this, but that's okay. That's how I am going to approach it. I am going to work on those 3 things to start. Sometimes it just takes a simple acknowledgement and recognition of the thing to then be able to address it. It doesn't have to be this like, oh, I'm spiraling out, nobody thinks I'm doing anything. No, it is a little bit of feedback that I know, whether I don't like it or not, I needed. And I know that you need it too, because it's really easy to fall into the, I'm really good at my job, I work hard, I do a good, make good projects. That should speak for itself. It doesn't. You have to speak about it for yourself. Like, you have to be your brand ambassador. We have talked about that before. And this is all about me building my internal brand. Okay, I'm Ashley Hitchcock-Francis. And now you've got the juice you need to build and sustain your career. Cheers.